Namo Phat. Good morning. Thank you for joining me for our daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This beautiful sound calls us back to our true home. The first mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by the destruction of life, I vow to cultivate compassion and learn ways to protect the lives of people, animals, plants, and minerals. I'm determined not to kill, not to let others kill, and not to condone any act of killing in the world, in my thinking, or in my way of life. For our Dharma readings, we've been reading a book by the nuns of Amaravati called The Body, Dhamma Reflections on Aging, Illness, and Death. And right now we're in a Dhamma talk by Ajahn Candasiri called Reflecting on Well-Being. Next, we consider how we can let go of hostility and ill will, avarahomi, avyapajohomi, ill will, malevolence, vengefulness, resentment, bitterness, hatred, all these things that cause us misery. One problem is that often we don't even see that they're causing us suffering. People can spend hours or even days, weeks, months, years feeling resentful about being slighted, ignored, or hurt by somebody else. Sometimes our grumbling can bring a kind of gratification, a feeling of righteousness, of being right, and someone else or the situation being wrong. But is that really happiness? Is that really well-being? When I look into my own heart, I see that it's not. It's not really what I want. It's not really how I want to live my life. This is very important. Sometimes we're not even aware of our mental habits. I found particularly that I can be quite unaware of how I relate to myself. I'm not aware of the criticism, judgment, and ill will I can have towards this being. There's a tendency to judge and undermine myself whenever I make a mistake. It's like having a mean parrot sitting on my shoulder, whispering, "You're no good. You could have done that better. Why did you do that? Why did you say that? She's much better than you. You should be like her. But you couldn't be. You're hopeless." Probably each of you has a slightly different voice inside. Yours might be saying things like this in German, French, Japanese, or Chinese, but whatever the language is, it's still the same message. It still burrows away into any sense of well-being, blessedness, or happiness. I remember once at Chithurst I was having a retreat, and I was going through the pattern. You're no good. You should be able to meditate better. You'll never be any good. All these years you've been practicing, and still you can't concentrate. Your mind's all over the place. You're lazy. I remember contemplating this misery. It was just before the mealtime. I was standing by the back door, feeling mildly miserable. Then I began to reflect on one of the qualities of the Buddha, Bhagava, which means Blessed One. And I was thinking about what being blessed would feel like. It would be a feeling of fullness, of happiness. Then I thought, well, you're not feeling very full and happy, are you? I saw that this rather pathetic, miserable, empty feeling was completely the opposite of feeling blessed. And I began to see what I was doing to myself. No one else was doing it to me. It was something that was coming from my own mind, and I realized it was there quite a lot of the time. I saw at that point that I had a choice. I could choose whether to continue to live with this mild misery, or to consciously generate a sense of well-being or blessedness that was free from this negativity. I thought, well, that's not how I relate to other people. If someone comes to me and tells me their meditation is no good or that they don't feel worthy, I don't say to them, well, that's true. You're not really very good, are you? Usually I'd say to them, that's all right. Don't worry. Keep on trying. Contemplate the goodness of your life so that you can notice that actually you're doing very well. Look at how most people are living. I talk to people in positive, encouraging ways, and I realized that I could talk like that to myself as well, rather than being so mean, critical, and nasty. So we can learn to relate to ourselves in more loving and positive ways. Rather than waiting for someone else to come along and encourage us, we can do this for ourselves. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you for joining me this morning.